Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Let's see, today is August 24th. It's about 12:02 Mountain Time for me over in Denver. So thank you all for joining me this afternoon. Um, Today's a very special broadcast. On my channel, I'm joined by Mitzi from Altenew. So she's under the Altenew handle. She'll be helping moderate my chat today. And I don't want to say too much. I just want to confirm that you all can hear my audio. Just fine audio this side. I did not do a good job of cleaning my shirt. Hi, Rosie. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Liz. Hi, everyone. While I'm waiting to confirm to see if you can hear me, yeah, let me know where you're coming from today. It's a different broadcast than what I've usually been doing on my channel. I've been experimenting with Wednesday evenings, but today I had some good availability, so I'm excited to show the project that I'm sharing today. Thank you, Liz. Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get started. It looks like I have about 30 people joining me right now. Hopefully we'll get a few more joining. But like I mentioned, this is a special Altenew broadcast today. Mitzi's joining me in the cloud, so she'll be helping moderate the chat. But as a special occasion today, and as a thank you for joining me this afternoon, we do have a gift to share today. So the exclusive offer just started today. It'll go until August 26th. But if you use my code right here, Jaycee Live 1, you do get the 5 sheets double-sided adhesive. I'll be using it in the project today. But also if you go down to the description box and click on more, and what's the link say? Hold on just a second. The link should say, oh, claim your free gift here. That link will take you directly to your Altenew cart. As long as you have the 5 sheet double-sided adhesive set in your cart, this will be yours as a gift for joining me today. Over $65, and of course while supplies last, and it's only during this duration, August 24th to the 26th today. So like I said, I will be using this product in today's card today, and just showing you a different way of using the double-sided adhesive, and it's a thank you for joining me this evening. So 7 p.m. in UK. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see, what else do we got? Ooh, sorry, let me turn down the audio on my laptop. Okay, hopefully y'all didn't get too much of an echo there. Okay, otherwise 34 people. Wow, so thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Again, Sunday, August 24th, and a free gift that I've got for you today. And I'll also put in a reminder at the end as well. So thank you to Mitzi, and thank you to Altenew for providing this to you all of my loyal subscribers, and those of you who haven't subscribed yet. You know, I've been trying to revamp my own personal channel and post more content here because I do enjoy it, and it's been a long time since I've been able to do so. If you're joining me like outside of my own personal channel, this is the first time you're seeing me. I got new assets for my Crafty space, so I'm hopefully able to handle the bandwidth, right, of live streaming and video editing. It's gone on a little better for me from my old setup, so it's been exciting to be doing live stuff. So do the kitties help craft? No. Of course not, Liz. They just, in a few moments, I'm sure they're going to start crying outside the door here to be let in. And then they come in, inspect, and then they leave. You know, just like how it normally is. All that huffing and puffing, and then they just go. So, okay, let's see. 12:06. I hope to finish this card example that I'll show you at the end in about an hour and a half. So thank you for joining me for your time. You don't have to be part of the entire live stream to get this discount code, but you know, of course, I appreciate you when you join me, and it's so I'm not just talking to the air and to myself. It's nice. I do have the chat here onto the side, so I am watching if you have any questions along the way. So, yeah, let's get started. Let me just set up my desk here. The product that I'll be focusing on is the Altenew Craft a Flower Larkspur. This is a layering die set, and if you're not familiar with the keyhole system, of course, Altenew is a pioneer and innovator of this system for easy alignments. This was new for July 2025. I just haven't had a chance to use it myself, so I'm glad I got to prep a little bit for this class and use this use this layering die set today. And let's see, where should I even start with this? Like I mentioned, I did do a little bit of prep work with Larkspur layering die set. So I did cut all the images out already, but on the back, here's the layering guide. Just for a quick reference, it creates this wonderful bundle of flowers. And I don't know, those of you, Liz, I know you mentioned that you're also in Colorado. I know a few of you joining in the chat are also from our wonderful state. We do have a city in Denver called Larkspur. Larkspur is, there are some varieties of Larkspur delphinium that are native to Colorado. So I based mine off of flowers in my garden. I got a wildflower seed set that contains native wildflowers for the state of Colorado and the Rocky Mountain region, and Larkspur was one of them. So let me just show you real quick. Oh, here I am. So yeah, over on this side, this was actually August 2023 is when I took this photo. I'm a little late this year to get like nice flowers. I kind of missed the period of which my delphiniums, Larkspur perennialized. But this is essentially what I'm basing this whole card off of today. I'm lucky to have them in my garden. I don't do anything. Every year I look in around the same spot and this emerges for me. So exact same color palette, sort of the same inspiration for Larkspur layering die set here, but I translated it onto my card. And yes, like I mentioned, everything is linked in the description box. If I mention something that isn't linked, Mitzi, I'm sure will help me out. She's under the Altenew hashtag, or she is under the Altenew handle, joining me this evening, or afternoon, sorry. It's probably way evening for her, so thank you for staying up with me. Oh, Heidi, see Longmont, so many Coloradoans joining me today. Obviously this is a good time for us. And for us, it has been like 99. It's been way too hot. So today it's in the like high 70s. So I'm not as hot in the craft room right now. Like right now, it would be impossible for me to go live. It would be too hot for me to go live in here. So, okay, anyway, oh my goodness, let me get started. Let's get rid of that inspiration photo. Like I mentioned, I die cut everything already for this card. So I'm going to start with the stems in here. So there is a large die that cuts out this stem. And for a full floral card, I decided to do 2 die cuts today. So I'll take out both, but I will only use portions of this arrangement. But before I start assembling flowers, I'm going to add some ink blending to these images. I'll use my 9x12 sticky matte grid to hold these fine images down. And I cut these layers from Altenew's Crafty Essential Cardstock. This is Frayed leaf. And I think it's actually the exact same cardstock that they used in the layering guide. And the example, it was just like the perfect green for what I needed for my inspiration photos as well. Already, it's need a drink. Geraldine, also yeah, I had delphiniums one time and I didn't know what I was doing when I first started my garden, and I didn't water them, and I just immediately watched them perish. I think I put them in late July, and then of course by August it's so hot. But anyway, let's see. So on my inspiration photo, let me just pull that back up again. The stems of the delphiniums Larkspur have like this reddish sort of tinge along the stem. So I thought that redwood would be a good alternative for ink blending on here in a close match. Sometimes I get pretty lucky that I have the inspiration flowers for the Altenew Craft of Flower sets. And it's easy for me to color match. But if not, what I usually do most of the time is just look on Google. And I just look for inspiration colors for many of the images. So I'm applying redwood along the stem part, or this main branch, of Craft a Flower Larkspur, and this is on top of Frayed Leaf Crafter's Essential Cardstock. And I like that this brown or this redwood color. Oh, sorry, I didn't even show it. Redwood, it's like a red brown. So I thought it was a pretty close match to the Delphinium. Again, thank you everyone for joining me today or this afternoon, at least for me. Here we go. Okay, there are other supporting images that layer on top and hide some of these alignment guides on the stems. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll come back to that when we start assembling the flowers or the stem. So I'm going to set this off to the side with the other layering pieces in my little tray. Clean off my sticky matte grid. I always get a few questions about the sticky matte grid and how to clean it. I use a soap and water solution in a water bottle, just like this one. I wouldn't use anything else. No solvents, nothing like harsher than that. And in fact, the soap solution that I use, like whatever's left at the bottom of a dish soap bottle, I dilute that all the way and fill it with, you know, clean water, bottled water, distilled water, whatever. And then that's what I use in my little bottle here, and I refill it as I need it. But that's all I use. The staining doesn't affect the performance of your sticky matte grid, and that goes for the sticky matte grid 9x12, 7.5 by 7.5. The one that's in your stamp wheel 2.0, I think that's 9x9. So yeah. That's right, it's a well-loved sticky matte. I do all of my Craft a Flower ink blending on this. I think this is still my first and original one, so I haven't had the need to change it or anything. So yeah, essential tool that I have here. I use it for all my Craft a Flower images, and also layering stencils on here as well. So yeah, alrighty. I also cut the petal elements for Craft a Flower Larkspur. I cut these from soft lilac cardstock, which looks like this as a full size. And I cut a few images twice on the set, so you'll see a few repeats here, like these two. And can you let me know in the comments, those of you who have never heard of Altenew's keyhole alignment system, or if you know about it, let me know. If it's not familiar to you and you're a Craft a Flower pro, let me know. If not, and you're brand new to Altenew's Craft a Flower layering system, let me know as well, please. While I lay these down, and Altenew's Craft a Flowers, like, they're also, of course, you know, they're all different flowers, of course, but every time it just like seems to shock me how like continuously innovative the alignment system is. And you know, Craft a Flower Iris, Bearded Iris, for example, was one newer for the year. Just amazing work to get realistic flowers on a two-dimensional plane, but of course that are, you know, 3D and have that nice curl to them. I'm just taking a look at your comments here. I just want to see where you all are at with the Craft a Flower system. Yeah, absolutely. I agree that they're a game changer. It's, you know, such an easy way to get dimensional flowers and really stand out projects on your cards. So it looks like the majority of you have seen them or have heard of them, but have never tried them out for yourselves, which is awesome. I think that's great that you're aware. Craft a Flower, the system, so the series itself, Craft a Flower, is a monthly subscription offered by Altenew. So of course the perk of subscribing with the Craft a Flower system or monthly subscription is you get it at a discounted rate. Your stock is guaranteed. So yeah, if you see one that you really like, there's an opportunity if you're not subscribed that you might miss out on the Craft a Flower system. And then you pay full price for it, right? But if you subscribe to the Craft a Flower monthly subscription, you are guaranteed the stock. Like I mentioned, you will get whatever month's die set there is, and it's delivered right to you. And every month they're different. And I think there is some flexibility. Mitzi, let me know. There is some flexibility if you want to pause or resume certain months. You can certainly do so through your Altenew account. But I've got everything, all the die cut flowers laid out here on my craft mat, and I do lay them out intentionally. So as I practice this set with my first example, I did group all of the alignment system holes together. So this one is a keyhole, and let me just hold one up. Sorry, everyone. So you'll see that there's a nice little etching on there. There's the keyhole number 1 and number 2. So in this case, there are only 2 petal layers to this flower, and then you follow the layering system chronologically. So you start with base layer number 1, overlay layer number 2, and match your alignment for the keyhole, and that's it. There are other layers to this flower, which I will get to in a second. And the nice thing about this is that because of the ingenuity of the keyhole alignment system, you actually don't see these at the end product. So if you haven't seen this before, if you've never experienced it for yourself, you'll see how easy it is to get realistic looking flowers, and nobody has to know that you have a little alignment system to help guide you. Okay. And then that layering guide is also found online. It's also found on the back of your die set packaging. So just another example before I start ink blending. It is on this triangle image here. Let me just gently bring it up. Sorry, I don't want to make anybody nauseous over this. But it's a triangle and a isosceles triangle. There's your etched layer number 1. You overlay layer number 2. And then there are subsequent layers, like I mentioned, for this layering system, but that's how easy it is, yeah. So I do keep them in close proximity. You can certainly do them one at a time, but I have the space to do so on my 9x12 sticky mat grid, so I'm just going to do them all at the same time. So soft lilac cardstock, I am going to ink blend on top of these just for that realistic color palette based on the inspiration photos that I showed earlier. Alpine Aster and Crystal Violet, they come from the Blue Mountains Fresh Dye ink set. I'll also be using, I have them off to the side, my mini ink blending tools. I have these linked in the description box, as well as the holder that comes with them. There is a bundle. I'm not sure if I linked the bundle, but I know I linked these items separately. And I like to work just like watercolor from lightest to darkest. So I'm going to apply a base layer of Alpine Aster, move on to Crystal Violet, assess the color palette that I'm getting, and then build colors from there. Thank you for joining me, Nabil. Let's see, it's probably 2:21 there, Syracuse. Alrighty, so let's see. Take my ink blending tool here. And generally I start from the center of the flower and ink blend this ink outwards. And sometimes it helps to look at the packaging, especially for some of these images that are not so obvious, like a rose, where the center of the petals go. But in this case, I know that this budding image is sort of darker towards the center here, and this is the end of the petal or the sepal. I'm not really quite sure. And since we're here today, I'll give you some exclusive thought process through like how I like to create through craft a flower. You know, a lot of your mature flowers are going to be at the base of your stem. So they're going to be darker, or they're going to be a different sort of color palette. And then everything at the top of your stem is going to be newer and brighter. So I do think of that as I move down my color palette. A lot of my colors are going to be you know, brighter, they hit the sun more, and then all of your flowers down here are more mature, and so they have a deeper sort of color palette to them. So I overthink it, y'all. Like full-time, I'm a scientist, so I guess that's just sort of ingrained in me. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing with this palette. And based on how I know these flowers sit on the stem, I kind of have an idea already of how much ink I need to apply. I know that these two images are more of my lower flowers, so I am going to concentrate more color on those. Oh, that's right, Leanne. I do remember you were there at the sweet shop. And thank you for joining me today. And thank you, Marta, for joining me live as well. I usually go live on Wednesdays. We're trying something out, you know, trying to experiment with the live sessions here. I do miss the interactivity. Pre-recorded videos are fun. You know, I get to really sit down and structure the video. But I feel like live I get to really talk through my thought process because I have to fill an hour and a half or so worth of time. So yeah, I do definitely explain a lot more as I create live. And of course I do enable the replay, so my last 3 recent live sessions are also available on my YouTube channel. But I have made a commitment to go more live more often, so it definitely is worth subscribing now. Before I know, I had a big lapse in posting channel or content to my own channel. So, and how many of you know that I have a playlist over on the Altenew YouTube channel? I have a series called Perfect Pairings with Jaycee. I've had that same series since I think the end of 2019, so I've been posting videos on the Altenew YouTube channel consistently throughout the years, and such a nice opportunity for them to give me and share content on their channel. And I always showcase new products and pair them with older Altenew favorites, and it's always such a good time making pre-recorded videos. Again, I've got Alpine Aster. Sorry, I put that off to the side. This is all Alpine Aster right now. I'm just applying a base layer of this ink. And again, on my lower flowers, my more mature flowers, I'm applying a heavier layer of Alpine Aster. Starting from the center of the flower, working my way up. Thank you, Cheryl. This is soft lilac cardstock with Alpine Aster on top so far. Alpine Aster is from Blue Mountain's Fresh Dye ink set, and so is Crystal Violet. I really like the blue-violet mix. Sort of reminds me of Aqualegia, the Colorado Columbine, Colorado State flower. Such a beautiful blue mix. Let's see. I think that's a nice base, and you can kind of see, hopefully on your screens, as you know, the ink dries back, you get a different saturation of this color. So although it looks really dark now, I always try to go much heavier handed than I anticipate because it does dry back nicely. The fresh dye ink formula levels out much nicer for ink blending techniques like this. So Alpine Aster, I'm going to set this off to the side. I may or may not need it again. And then using another mini ink blending tool. And also, hopefully you all know about Altenew's mini ink blending tools. They come in sets of 4. So do Altenew's fresh dye inks for the most part. So you get 1 ink blending tool per color. And that's also how I organize it in my little holder here. So yeah, so that I don't have to clean off any of my brushes. So I have my violet blue set, my violet set, warm blue, or sorry, warm brown, cool browns, cool grays, warm grays, and such and such. So let's see. So I've got crystal violet, and with this color towards the top of my bouquet, or my larkspur stem, I'm going to apply an even less concentrated color of crystal violet to the center, so you'll see the contrast between these two images now. And just like watercolor, working from lightest ink or lightest color to darkest color, and just slowly build this ink onto the cardstock. Just like so. And just therapeutically paint this ink onto the petals. And then with my lower flowers, my more mature flowers, again, a more concentrated and intense blend of crystal violet. So I'm taking this color up further on the petals, leaving less of the original cardstock color, so soft lilac exposed. Thank you for letting me know, Geraldine. I was trying to look through my Altenew settings, my YouTube live settings, to see how to import a moderator. I don't know how. I meant to look that up, and I thought it was just gonna work for folks to post links into the chat. Sorry about that. Let me just take a look here. I hope I didn't miss any of your questions. But otherwise, I think I'm trying not to mention or use products that I haven't already, that I will or that I will show on the live segment here. So everything is linked in the description box if you expand the descriptor on this. Oh, the free gift. Okay. Let me just show it real quick. Is it this one? While I'm ink blending, I'm just going to show this banner real quick again. It's the free gift that's available using my code in the description box below. It will take you to Altenew's homepage because it imports this code right here, Jaycee Live 1, already into your cart. So all you have to do is add the 5-sheet double-sided adhesive set into your cart, and then this will automatically be removed. And Geraldine, are you on Instagram? Can you let me know if you find out? Because I just don't want to miss it in the chat as you know it moves up. But there's the free gift there. I'm going to remove the banner real quick to show the end result of that. So that's crystal violet on top of Alpine Aster and soft lilac cardstock. Then we'll keep moving down. I wanted sort of that still purpley shift to the base of the flowers. So I brought in Hydrangea. This is from Enchanted Garden Fresh Dye Ink Set. Again, it's still that nice purpley blue. Of course, thank you, Joy. Okay. And I'll bring in a violet ink blending tool. And just to create some different layers of colors on the petals, I'm taking Hydrangea, deepening certain areas, adding that nice purpley shift to all of the petals. So I'm applying this on top of all of the ink, just creating little halos of purple. So you'll see it's a pretty quick process that I'm doing. Just to add splashes of color, make this a little bit more dynamic segment. Thank you, Rosie. Okay, so that's Hydrangea. Thank you, Geraldine. I'm going to try that. I don't want to do it now. I'm afraid I might accidentally end my broadcast. But I'll try to remember that, what you posted. Do you have Larkspur in your garden? Yes, I do. Let me show my inspiration photo again. This was August 2023. I have a recent photo from a couple weeks ago, but I missed it. It's like been really hot in here in my garden. So they're fried. They just don't look as pretty right now. So yeah, that's the inspiration photo, and that's what I'm basing this sort of palette off of. So Hydrangea, mini ink blending tools. Just as a recap, these were my 3 layers. So Alpine Aster, Crystal Violet, and Hydrangea. Oops, right there. And then to really push this and, you know, create some really nice dynamic folds and such on these flower petals, I'm going to bring in Azurite. This is from Lapis Lazuli, Fresh Dye Ink Set. And instead of mini ink blending tools, I'm going to use the number 5 detail blending brushes. So these have a nice angle to them. And then what I'm going to do is use this like I would watercolor and paint little strokes onto the petals. Sorry, I'm going to go out of frame a little bit because I'm like bending down to color these petals. And I'm creating slight strokes of Azurite to create movement in the petals and areas of depth, and really paint some nice wavy movement on the petal. I'm going to do this to all of the images, and I already know like what the layering guide looks like on here, so I have a rough idea of where like the petal openings are. So as I'm painting the 3 dotted alignment images, so this one right here and also this one right here, I kind of know where to add a little bit of depth. And it never hurts to really experiment where you want to paint this ink. Oops. Do I ever wash my brushes? Maybe because I use them so often, I never give them an opportunity to dry out. But if they do, like the black one I have, this one, like the bristles do get hard, but I kind of just like work it on a paper towel. And it seems to like loosen the bristles up a bit. But no, I really don't clean them. All of these brushes on here, like I've added brushes to the set, which is why some of them look newer. But like, for example, this is my red one that I've had since forever and ever. Just fine. Nothing's wrong with them. And I don't clean them. That's right, it's my little secret, Mitzi. It's the mini ink blending tools, detail blending brushes. Hopefully I've linked the detail blending brushes in the description. Let me just take a look real quick. Yeah, I did. So the detail blending brushes are under the Crafter's Showcase Mini Blending Brush Storage System. So this thing right here. So yeah, we'll just keep painting this blue ink onto the petals, giving it that lifelike and wavy appearance. Where are we at? 12:38, so it's been about 30 minutes. Again, those of you who are just joining, thank you so much. I have Altenew moderating the comments for me. I really appreciate it. And hopefully, and I am also checking the chat as well. Trying to grab your questions as they come through. And just like watercolor, you know, you want to start light and slowly build the color, because once you add it, you can't really take it away. And sometimes if you feel like, I've noticed, like if I feel like I'm trying to, if I start to lose like concentration of color, like I just let it sit and I let the ink really saturate the paper. And then when I come back, sometimes I'm really surprised by the end result of all of the color mixing. So sometimes it is beneficial to just kind of let it pause and rest. And then, like I've been mentioning, these open and lower flowers, the more mature flowers, are going to get a more intense concentration of this ink, just like this. So that it's a much more dynamic flower branch, Larkspur branch, I should say. And so that there's just more interest as your recipient moves down the line of colors on the flower. Thank you, Patty. And thank you, Belinda, for joining me for the first time. At least live. I feel like I've seen you in the previous sessions, just in the replay possibly. But thank you either way. And thank you, Anne, for joining me overseas. Hopefully you had a great day in the evening over there from Norway. Okay. Still applying azurite and a detailed blending brush. Applying these strokes to the petals. And one thing to note too, although some of these petals look really dark, the center of the flower gets covered up by other elements, or they sit underneath other layers. So that's why you get a really fine opportunity to create a lot of contrast on the petals. Because, you know, as you overlay them, let's just do it real quick in this example, there's going to be something that covers up the center So if you go too dark in the center and not dark enough outward, then you lose all that color that you put down. So I am quite heavy-handed with my concentration of ink, especially in the center, because I know it'll get hidden. So we're almost there with this ink. And of course, I don't want a smooth blend of this. I like that the bristles or the strokes of this ink, as shown like right here, are there, right? I think it helps it look like the veining of petals. I think really hard about this, y'all. Like way too hard, right? That's why I don't really post a lot, because I really focus on like single projects. And it's hard because I really like a lot of the Altenew, like Builder Gardens, Craft of Flowers, Mini Delights, any of the subscription services or any of the monthly releases. And I want all of them, but I just can't make things with all of them, you know? Which is why I like going live, because now we get the opportunity to sort of make and create and talk through the process at the same time, share an end result. And there isn't so much prep work involved, you know, with like a pre-recorded video, you know. So props to, you know, some of your favorite content creators, Jennifer McGuire, Kathy Zilski, Mindy. I've seen Carissa Wiley also go live. A lot of people from the Altenew design team, they go live, and it's just like, man, it's hard. It's hard looking at the comments. Luckily, Mitzi's here moderating the Altenew channel, but otherwise, when it's just me, my goodness. And especially at the end of the day, I usually go like 7:30 p.m. Mountain Time on Wednesday is the last 3 sessions I've done. Like after a full work day, and then I have to talk some more. It's a lot. So props to all of the people who do it regularly, you know? Okay, I think I'm going to leave that alone. What do we think? So recap, I did Hydrangea, Crystal Violet, Alpine Aster, and Azurite on top of soft lilac cardstock. And that's the end result of all that blending. I think I'm going to leave it alone. Yeah. And there are other elements to this flower as well. So on this branch, there are little, let me just pull up the inspiration photo one more time. There are these little centers to the flower over here that sort of look like the inner portion of a orchid, right? So I will work on coloring those, let these dry back. And I'm just going to shift these a little bit so that there's some room. And I cut these from white cardstock. Here's the keyhole opening. And then the images, wait, that's wrong. The images that go with this. There's the keyhole, the triangle. Hopefully that's not too low on your screens. Just don't want to move. Oh, let me, Jaycee, shift this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so centers of the flowers there are kind of lighter on the inside, which is why I cut these from white cardstock. And then I'm going to just bring in Alpine Aster. I feel like that was a pretty good close color match for the center of the flower. And bringing in that ink blending tool again. Creating some depth on the centers. And since I've already assembled this card before, I know where to apply depth on these center elements. And some of the things that you don't see as I design for Altenew is that there's, for me at least, there's a long study period for me where I really think about the inspiration flower that itself, if I've got it in my garden. Like luckily I've got the Larkspur in my own garden and I can pull inspiration from it. But yeah, it's just stuff I don't usually share in pre-recorded content because I try to keep it really concise. But live, I'm able to talk through it a lot more. I'm just going to apply a little touch of Crystal Violet as well. These are both from Blue Mountain's Fresh Dye ink set. And just deepen some of this. Okay, I think that's good. Alrighty. So now, let me push this over. Oops, remove that for a moment. I'll just follow the layering guide for each of the images found here. So here's my triangle, isosceles triangle, which coordinates with these two images. This keyhole, which goes with these two. The three holes right here are these two elements. There's this sideways Tetris T, I guess, which are these two. And then the two holes, which are, where did they go? Did I not cut it out? I did not cut it out. Oh no. I'll do that real quick. Because we'll need it for the final flower. I knew I was missing something. Something didn't look right on here. But anyway, they align just like this. And you just follow the alignment guide. This one doesn't have a coordinating image, neither these two. Let me just try to clean up my mat here so that it's easier to see the alignment process of all of these. This one. And if it helps you to put it in order of which that's shown on the product packaging as well, just so that you can get everything, you know, you can just grab and go chronologically. So 1, 2 goes on top of 1, this is your third layer, goes on top of this, you know what I mean? But I guess this gives a good opportunity to show the die set. I did put a magnetic sheet in mine, just for easy grabbing, as I knew I was going to go live with this. The one that I'm missing is this one. I think I did need 2 of these, and you'll see like the Craft a Flower sets have not always been the same. However, recently the images that go together are on one die set. So you can organize, you don't have to grab so many pieces, you just grab the single flower if you need it, and I don't have to fuss with grabbing this one, and this one, and I can just run this through my die cutting machine. So like I mentioned, I cut this from Soft Lilac, which is this one right here. Then all I've got to do is throw it down on my cardstock panel. And then add them to my sticky mat grid. And those of us just joining, by the way, as I'm die cutting over to the side here, there is a free gift promotion graciously offered by Altenew. There is a link in the description box. That'll take you directly to the Altenew homepage with my discount code already loaded. So that's Jaycee Live 1. As long as you've got the 5-sheet double-sided adhesive in your cart, it'll automatically be discounted today over purchases of $65. So yeah, I appreciate you joining me. I'm glad that Altenew has given this over to all of you joining me today, and this is only until August 26th. So that ends 12 Eastern. Mitzi will let me know on the Altenew handle when it ends. Oh, actually, I lied. I have it here. So duration from August 24th, 12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time to August 26th, 11:59 Daylight Time. So you do have a few moments after this live for, you know, it to work. But yeah, that's a thank you for joining me today. And let's go back down to my work surface. All I'm going to do is ink blend over these images. And I guess those of you who have joined me a little later, you can see the inks that I used. So that's Alpine Aster. First, thank you, Mitzi. Alpine Aster, then Crystal Violet. Oop. And a slight touch of hydrangea. Where are we at? So we're almost at an hour. Perfect, because then we'll have about another 30 minutes to assemble this card. And it looks daunting with all the pieces, but I assure you, once you get everything glued down and assembled, it's so easy. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah. Let me just take Azurite back again. Where did I put it? Did I drop it? Oh, it's right here. I was looking for my detail blending brush. Just a little bit of depth on these petals. Good. Okay, so we did that real fast. Alrighty. So then, I'm just going to follow the alignment system on the die set packaging. Let me shift this down a little bit, and I'll look just at the keyhole ones because I think it's the most obvious one to do first. I already have them in order starting from number 1, so that's what I'm applying glue to right now. I suggest a strong liquid glue for doing this, especially one that's water soluble if you're using it on top of your sticky mat grid. This just helps keep it, you know, usable. And I'm just going to bring this in a little bit. Hopefully you can see there's that etched layer number 3. So going in numerical order and aligning the hole. In this case, it's the keyhole for this image. So I have number 1 and number 2. On top of number 2, I'll put in the image for number 3. And then this is what actually covers your alignment guide. Just like that. And then you sort of have to reference like lines found on the die set packaging. I do already know that this one goes here. And then this one overlays on top. So that's how easy it is to use the keyhole alignment system. I did do this slightly out of order because you do need the branch. There's that keyhole again to get it perfectly positioned on here, but it's all right. I'll just bring it in just in case. Hopefully that's not too out of the way. There's that keyhole. Can sort of match that to the back and put that on top, just like that. And like I said, they're all different, all of the Craft a Flower guides and end results. So usually, you know, you put the flowers on top of the stem. This one is interesting because, at least for me, for all the ones that I've experienced, this is the first one where you put like the flower petals underneath stem elements. Oops. So that it looks like this. When it's overlaid, it just looks so much more like inspiration photos that I saw online, right? And, you know, like I mentioned like earlier in this live, if you've been watching this entire time, you know, if it looks like it's going to be a lot of ink, most likely as you start covering up elements on them, it's just the right amount. So if you feel like you're going a little overboard or heavy-handed, I guarantee like other elements will cover what you did so that it looks more realistic and dynamic and dramatic and all of those things. Let's see. So I'm using the 3-hole guide right here, putting layer number 2 on top of layer number 1. On this stem right here, here are my 3 holes there. So then on the back of this, align the image, top of the petals, just like that. And I think it says so on the, yeah, using the keyhole system keys, arrange the flowers behind the stem. So you kind of just got to take a look at the packaging. It'll tell you what to do. Because they are all different. They honestly are. And that's what's so exciting about them. Oh, these are the 2 ones down here. Ooh, a lot of comments came on, sorry. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. Thank you for joining me still, Rosie. Let's see. Let me just scroll up a little bit. Thank you everyone for joining me. Oh, this is so fun. Glue on the back. Just like that. So you'll see like how this really comes to life once you've started ink blending and arranging all of these elements. here's that sideways T on the stem, and I just have to follow that opening when putting the stem on top of the petals, like that. And then, oops, this one. Goes on top of this set of petals. Like that. I'll kind of just I'll let that rest there for a moment so I can properly show you the triangle alignment. Okay. These ones are duplicates. I know I'll need them for the second stem, but I'll set those aside for now. So I've got my triangle, my isosceles triangle alignment in order down here. So on the stem, I'll start with this image, put this on top, and align the opening. Like that. So those are the two petal elements. Then here is layer number 3. I'll show that etching again. Sorry, y'all. There it is. Can you see that? This helps cover up the alignment hole in the center. Then you overlay this image on top to completely obscure that. And then these are the folds to the center of the flower. So really, oops, too far. This finishes, oh no it doesn't, I'm sorry, almost done, almost done. So then all of these alignment holes on here also have pieces that get covered up. So like this one covers up that opening for the sideways T. So then I just have to put glue on top of that. Thank you again, Mitzi, for saving me. Yes, this is the Craft a Flower Larkspur. For me, there are some species of larkspur that are native to Colorado, and I've been showing a reference image here. This is from my garden. And that's what it looks like in my habitat and in its zone. I don't know exactly which variety I have. I just know it came in a like Colorado Native Flowers seed packet from one of the local greenhouses. And I haven't had to do anything. It came with like Cosmos, Marigold, this Delphinium, Larkspur, Bachelor's Buttons, yeah, it came with so many different kinds of flowers, but the first year it was really prolific. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it got too hot or too wet this year, but a lot of them just didn't come back, but maybe they'll surprise me next year. Sometimes flowers do that. They just take an extra long rest. But yeah, anyway, that's the finished bundle for this one. Let me quickly do the second one so that we can start assembling the other flower. Where's that second branch? I will not be using this entire branched image on this one, but I'm going to apply glue to the back of the stem like it says to in the instructions. Put that off to the side for a moment and glue down these other petals. I just really wanted a full arrangement, kind of like this zoomed in version here. Let me get rid of that for a moment. Oops. So 1, 2. Again, just in chronological, or sorry, numerical order. All right. So these are the higher flowers on the delphinium branch. So it's this one, this one, this one, and this one. And all I've got to do is match them with their respective flowers. Oops, this one. There we go. Easy, easy. And then cover up the alignment holes on the stem. Just like this. Oops. One more. Ooh, okay, here we go. So now, I'm gonna move these off to the side. Ooh, come on. Doesn't want to let go. Let's get this assembled onto a card front. Quick drink of water, make sure I didn't miss anything. I'm working on a panel of Mountain Pine Crafters Essential Cardstock. This is just cut to A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And on here, I actually used pieces of the double-sided adhesive. So that's that free gift that you're able to get today during the live session and also a few moments after. But I put a piece of that double-sided tape. Oh, what is my camera doing? Calm yourself. There we go. Sorry, y'all. I put a piece of that double-sided tape on the back of some white cardstock. I actually leave this in the packaging just for future use. And what I did is die cut this hello sentiment, and I regret that I didn't check that this die set was out of stock or not available. It's this one, the Sweet Sentiments die set. Silly me. I should have looked before I even started crafting. But some alternatives that I suggest that are similar are the Timeless Sentiments. So I have the Timeless Sentiments die set and the second one. So it's the same principle as far as aligning all of these images. And with the double-sided adhesive already on the back of all of these images or letters, I can really quickly stack my sentiment. And so I've got 3 layers here. Work with me. And you have moments where it's slightly repositionable until you really push down and it's stuck on there. So yeah, it just really quickly with these finer sentiments, you're able to really stack them on here. And then I've got the same thing on the back of this cardstock. This is Evergreen, again with that double-sided adhesive on the back. And I can just align that offset die to my letters here. One more time. So that's 3 layers of the white cardstock for the hello sentiment. Then once I press that down, that's not going anywhere. So really easy use of that double-sided adhesive. I love it for sentiments. Then I'm going to bring in my 2 branched images here. And I know I'm not going to need this one because you won't see it. And I am going to arrange this so that it's really full on my cardstock. Like that. Did I not need this bottom one? I lied. I don't think I need this bottom one. And if I do, then I'll just glue it back. Here we go. That's what it was. A little bit of glue on here. Here we go. Then with the double-sided foam adhesive, I've got the 1/4 inch, right? Is that right? Sorry, 1/8 inch. Oh, 1/4 inch, that's really thick. The 1/8 thick inch double-sided foam tape. I'm just going to apply this to the back of all of the main flowers. In areas that you won't quite see the adhesive. Just like this. We are almost there. Right. I agree, especially the 1/8. Oh my gosh, I cannot say it. The one that Mitzi's got in the chat. I love it because I think the extra height, it just like makes it much more dynamic, really dramatic. And then on here, just gonna bring this whole arrangement. Oh, missed one. Right on top, like that. I like all the overhang. I have larger envelopes that I could easily put this card into. And then with pure white ink spray and a fine tipped water brush, I'm gonna add some splatter. And I like a lot of splatter. Just like that. And then since I've got that double-sided adhesive already on the back of this sentiment, I can just easily peel it off. And I like to leave my sentiments kind of floating on here, and now I don't even have to think about where I should apply glue. And then when I lay it on top, it's already where it's supposed to be. So there's that. Last touch, I've got my Altenew Sequins in this sort of cheap pill box container. They're already sorted by size, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 millimeter Sequins. This is the Dazzling Diamond set. Add a few of these throughout the branch. And I'll use my perfect picker to pick up a variety of sizes of the sequins. And arrange them around my sentiment. Oop. Is that it? Oh my goodness. Did we do it in an hour and a half? Oh, and we have some time to spare. That's perfect. That's exactly what I planned. So yeah, there we go. Let me just clean off my work surface real quick so that we can do a nice little reveal of this card and take a look at the chat. What are we up to? All right. Oh, get this out of the way. So there's that final card. Again, Craft a Flower, Larkspur. Sorry, I don't want to set it down yet. It's still wet. But anyway, that's what I've got here. Craft a Flower, Larkspur. I used a lot of ink blending techniques, a lot of inks to get this realistic bloom. But that's the end result of that. So, yeah. As we go through this real final product reveal, I really appreciate you all joining me. Again, Mitzi has been up in the clouds moderating this session for me. Yeah, if you've got any questions, let me know in the chat. I'll end this in about 10 minutes. But before you go, I just really want to make sure that you all get an opportunity to get the free gift, right? There's a link in the description box that takes you directly to your Altenew cart. You can use my code JCLive1 and make sure you get the 5 sheets of the double adhesive for free today with purchases over $65. And of course, all of the things that I used in this card, except for the sweet sentiments. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought it was still available because I love it. But anyway, there are so many different sentiments that you can still use for the double-sided adhesive. Many of the offset sentiments, or many of the fine scripty sentiments, many of the oh my goodness, Creative Cuts subscription as well is great for the double-sided adhesive. But yeah, that's what we've got going on here. This is my first draft and the card that we made today. So yeah. Thank you so much for joining me. If you all have any questions, oh, and again, thank you so much to Mitzi for moderating the comments for me. I will make sure I get that fixed next time so that Mitzi can post the links. Y'all can go directly to the Altenew website, and y'all don't miss out on what she's sharing with you. So yeah. Hi, Miriam, and thank you all for joining me. Oh, I missed a lot of your comments. Fedu. But yeah, hopefully I'll go live soon. I usually announce on Instagram if I'm going live, so I've got my handle linked over here, jc.gaspar over at Altenew. And if you try any of the projects that I shared today. Make sure you tag me at this handle, jc.gaspar, at Altenew LLC. I want to take a look at your projects, and we'd love to take a look at your projects as well. I've got a blog that I participate for many of the Altenew releases as well. I've got both of those linked in the description box down below. So, yeah. Let's see. 1:22. So yeah, we finished in about an hour and a half, just like I planned. See? We're getting better at this, I promise. This is now the 4th time I've gone live on my channel, trying to make all of these assets possible. So yeah. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you, Mitzi, for moderating in the clouds. Thank you for supplying that free gift to all of us today as well. So I'll end the stream now. Thank you so much. Bye, y'all.